Hello everybody, it's Aaran back from Screenstars, and I'm here once again to do another review for Geek Legion of Doom. And today I'm here to review the 2020 horror thriller The Night They Knocked, a film that is written and directed by Sean Roberts, and it stars Linnea Gregg, Mickey Roberts, Connor Roberts, Jack Buckley, Maggie Shirk, Deirdre Kozka and Rachel Donahue. Now this is a home invasion style horror film, and it focuses on a group of friends that are staying at this countryside cabin, I suppose you could call it, for the weekend, and they get visited by, well, they get unwelcome guests basically one night. And you get a little bit of backstory at the beginning of the film. There is a series of brutal killings that are going on in the area, home invasion style killings. However, these youths that are staying at this cabin don't take any notice of this news, just get on with their fun until they are visited this fateful night. Right, so there's not really an awful lot else to say on the story here. Home invasion style movies kind of speak for themselves. You kind of know what you're getting with them. Some of them tend to give you a little bit more, try and be a little bit original about it. However, that's not really what you're going to get here. What you get here is a pretty generic paint by numbers home invasion film that is certainly watchable, with some decent performances, and the film is actually quite nicely polished, if I'm honest. The sound design, the way it looks, the way it's directed, all that kind of stuff, it kind of feels pretty polished. Some of the actors perform a little bit better in the roles than others. The biggest issue I had with the cast here is that they were supposed to be friends. They all knew each other really, really well from high school, etc. But it felt like they were strangers. Obviously, due to budgetary constraints, they obviously didn't spend an awful lot of time together, some of them, and it kind of showed in the film. It didn't feel like they were old friends, and there wasn't a great deal of chemistry between many of them. But that's okay, it's a low budget film, you can kind of skim over things like that, and the odd dodgy delivery of a line here and there you can forgive as well if the film is good. And unfortunately, like I said, this film suffers from a real lack of originality for the most part. A couple of other technical issues here and there, but if you've seen one home invasion film, you've seen them all, generally speaking, and you've certainly seen this one. It doesn't offer an awful lot of variety to the genre here. There are a couple of brutal death scenes here, but it doesn't expand on that enough. There's a couple of death scenes where it cuts away and you don't see an awful lot, and there's a couple of death scenes where you see pretty much everything. And you kind of, if you're going to see a home invasion film, you kind of want to see what's happening to these people that the film is trying to get you to know and understand these characters. And this isn't a film that does that particularly well either. The characters aren't overly fleshed out. So you don't have an awful lot of empathy or sympathy for any of them, really. There's a couple of characters stand out that you like a little bit more than some of the others, but some of the characters just kind of felt like cannon fodder, and you couldn't even remember the names. I couldn't remember the names of pretty much all the characters, if I'm honest, which says a lot for how memorable they are and how well they've been written, unfortunately. And there was one guy in particular who is in the film. It looked like he was auditioning for the part of Wolverine. He had this white vest on, he even had hair like Hugh Jackman, and the physique wasn't far off either, you know what I mean? It was quite funny, the fact that he's wandering around the film in this white vest for the most part of it, looking like Hugh Jackman in Wolverine. I thought it was funny. But it's certainly a watchable home invasion style film. It just doesn't offer an awful lot in regards to originality, and it was a little bit underwhelming. I'm trying to word this in the right way so I don't give spoilers away. The reveal of who it is actually knocking at the door, shall we say, and again a lack of originality in regards to the makeup used, and again I'm trying to avoid spoilers here. It was too Joker-like. It was too, I think, comparable with the makeup on the Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, the recent film, and it didn't need that, because I thought the character was quite strong and quite creepy, and the situation in itself is really creepy because you're supposed to feel safe in your home, and if done right, these movies, if it makes you feel tense and on edge and unsafe, it's done its job right. I never really got that, and there's a major issue with this film, is it's just too dark. At one point the power gets cut, which is understandable, and I know maybe they're going down the route of realism here, but for quite a lot of scenes, the only thing you've got lighting that scene is someone's lighter. Now, it was just too dark. You couldn't tell who was doing what was happening for big chunks of the second half of the film when the lights go out. And I found it a real issue following it from that point, because it might be going down the route of realism, but it's not entertaining to watch when you just can't see anything, unfortunately. And for me, the ending didn't work. I would have liked to have seen a conclusion to the end of this film. If you remember the film The Grey with Liam Neeson, the ending he got in that film, and I'm not comparing this film to that film, they're completely different films, but the ending you got in that film was so underwhelming. Well, that's kind of what you get here. I expected more and I wanted more, and it didn't really give us certainly the ending that I was hoping for. So I've given it a 5 out of 10. I think it's certainly watchable. There are some interesting things going on. There's a couple of brutal kills, a couple of decent scares here and there, and some nice characters here and there that add to the film. But there's too much wrong with it, and the darkness really doesn't help. But like I say, it might be something you want to check out if you're a fan of this horror subgenre. So that's my review for The Night They Knocked. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and of course don't forget to return for Geek Legion of Doom for more reviews very soon.